are in Kadıköy. Kadıköy is a district that's directly across from the historic peninsula in Istanbul. Kadıköy has a history that dates back to ancient times, but the area itself was most famous for its gardens, pastures, especially for being a great area for hunting and fishing. Today, as you can see, it's very far from this picture. It is now one of the most colorful and vibrant neighborhoods in all of Istanbul. We will be visiting Moda today, which is located inside of the Kadıköy district. And I promise you, we're just gonna get one colorful moment after another. The nostalgic tramway in Istanbul on the Asian side is the best way to get to Moda from the Kadıköy ferry boat landing pier. It's right across the street and it takes about 20 minutes to make an entire loop around Moda. So if you've come here and you want a fast and very fun way to get up to the top of the small hill that Moda is located on, I suggest you take the tramway. You will need a public transportation card or you can use the app. Either way, don't miss this retro way of getting around the city. The Sarija Mansion was built in 1903 for Arif Sarija Pasha. He was the doctor of Abdülmecit II, Sultan of Istanbul. This mansion was the first large-scale construction in Moda and has become an iconic piece of this culture here. The world-renowned pianist Ayşegül Sarıca, granddaughter of Arif Sarıca Pasha, still lives in this building today. We are in Moda, and this area is nothing like anything you will see in Istanbul. It really has its own character. Now I really want to talk about why Moda's name is called Moda. In Turkish, Moda means something that's fashionable or in style. At the beginning of the 1900s, much of the British community actually lived in Moda. With the movement of trying to learn more about the Western world, the Turkish community that wanted to live here called it the place that was fashionable at the time. That's where it got its nickname from, which stuck, and today it's still called Moda. The people who live in the area like to enjoy the outdoors quite a lot. So you can see a lot of people enjoying sailing, bike riding, picnicking, walking. There's dogs, there's children. There's a whole lifestyle here. It's almost like you're on vacation. So when you're in Moda, make sure that you enjoy some of the sea coast here and really check out the views, because it is a peninsula and it has different views from basically every side. tea is a major part of the Turkish culture. One of the most popular things to do in Moda is to stop off at a tea garden and watch the views while drinking a cup of hot Turkish tea. When in Moda, one of my favorite things to do is to enjoy the seaside while having meze. Meze are a very traditional part of the Turkish kitchen. And basically, they're like small dishes similar to tapas that are meant for sharing. Like most tables, Turkish tables are all about sharing. So it's not just about the conversation, it's also about the food. Customarily, everybody gets to pick at least one, and I say at least because it's very difficult to only pick one, meze that's their favorite. Another fantastic thing to do when you're in Moda is to get ice cream. This isn't just any ice cream. This is pure heaven because it is basically all fruit. Eating ice cream in the summertime is a favorite pastime of pretty much all people in the world, but especially Turkish people. But here's a very interesting thing I wanted to tell you. Turkish people generally do not eat ice cream in the wintertime. Why? Because they think that it could hurt your throat, make you feel sick. So it's really something that's for warmer weather. This is the Whit Mansion. It was built in 1895, and the Whit were a very wealthy family that built many structures, many buildings throughout Moda in specific. It was the home of one of the most popular public figures in Türkiye, Barış Manço. Barış Manço was considered one of the founders of the Anatolian rock genre, and his love of children and general outlook on life was always something that everyone really enjoyed. This house was turned into a music school and museum after his death. There are 13 churches in the Moda area that I know of. The one behind me is the All Saints Moda Church. This church was built in 1878 by the Whit family. And the purpose of it being built was to satisfy the worshiping needs of all of the British community that lived in the area. In the 1920s, a group of fishermen that were fishing off of the coast of Moda here realized that there was some gushing water on the mainland. They came to check it out, and when they did, they found the ruins of an ancient church. And then inside of the ancient church, they found the Econ of Aya Ekaterini. They assumed that the water coming from the gushing spring was probably sacred water. So they built a small church around it made out of wood. Over time, this church was replaced by a building, but you can still come, when you're in Moda today, to this small chapel, and you have the chance to actually touch it yourself. The Sarija Opera House in Kadıköy, Istanbul was built in 1927 by the politician Süreyya İlmen Paşa. He wanted to bring the arts to this community. Theater, ballet, opera, and pretty much anything that's musical. This theater was the first of its kind, the first musical theater to be built on the Asian side of Istanbul. The colorful nightlife of Moda is full of energy. Pretty much anything you want to find, music, food, entertainment, tattoos, they're all around here. I think it's time to have a little fun. Moda is all about the people. It's all about living life to the fullest. In fact, the motto of Moda is happy people, happy stories.